Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Lambert again. I hope everyone is staying happy and healthy. And parents, I know that homeschooling is tough, but you've got this. I have another game that you can play with your kids today. It's called Capture the Castle. It's a subtraction game, and it's great for about second grade and up, just the way it is, but I'll also be sharing some ideas to make it a little bit easier or a little bit more challenging. So materials that you'll need today. You're gonna need some paper, something to write with, and some playing pieces. You can either take playing pieces from another board game, or you can use whatever you have around the house. Erasers, salt and pepper shakers. I'm gonna be using clips today. So in this game, you're gonna need two teams. The teams can either be a single player each, or there can be more than one person per team. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is draw your game board. So each team is going to draw a castle on each side of your game board. And in between, you're going to draw 5 rivers. So to start the game, each team will put their playing piece on their own castle. The goal of the game is to cross all 5 rivers and capture your opponent's castle. However, in order to cross the river, you're going to have to pay money. And the team that makes a bet and has the higher bet and wins the bet gets to cross that river and pay the money. So each team is going to start with $100. And in order to keep track of how much money you have and how much you've spent, I've made a little chart here. You can see I've got a column for the total, a column for what bet I'm making, and then a column for how much was paid. Remember, you only pay if you have the higher bet. So today I have Mr. Lambert joining me to help play the game. So let's get started. So the first thing is everyone's going to secretly write down how much they are willing to pay to cross that first river. If you're playing on a team, maybe whisper with your teammates for a strategy, or you can go to a different part of the room. So I'm thinking that I want to start out strong, but I don't want to spend too much because I don't want to run out of money. So I'm thinking I'm going to bet $21. So I'm going to write that down in my bet column right here. Okay. When both teams are ready, you can reveal your bets. So I think I'm willing to pay $21 to cross the river. How much are you willing to pay?
I only put down 20.
So 21 is greater than 20, so I win the bet. So I get to cross the first river, and in my paid column, I'm going to write $21 because that's how much I have to pay. Right now, I have to subtract 21 from 100 to find out how much money I have left. At this point, you can have your child use whatever strategy works for them in order to do the subtraction. They can write equations, they can use counters, whatever makes sense to them. So for the younger kids, you can have some counters out. In the classroom, I normally use base 10 blocks, but I'm guessing you don't have those laying around the house. So any kind of small items grouped in groups of 10 will work. So I've got some pom-poms here today. And so 21, that's 2 10s and a single 1. So I'm going to subtract 2 groups of 10 and a single 1. So I have 7 10s left over plus 9 1s. That makes 79. So my new total is 79. I could have also used equations and written those out on a scratch paper. Mr. Lambert, he doesn't pay anything because his piece didn't move. So in his paid column, he's going to write 0, and his total remains at 100. Time for round 2. So we each get to make a new bet to see how much we're willing to pay to cross the river. Okay, how much did you bet?
I bet higher, 30.
30. I only bet 25. So this time, I'm going to write 0 on my paid column because I didn't pay anything. And I will keep 79 as my new total. My piece doesn't move, okay? But Mr. Lambert, he can move his piece because he's crossed that first river. And he'll do the subtraction. 100 minus 30 equals
70.
Excellent. So play continues like this until one team reaches the opponent's castle. Whoever is able to cross all 5 rivers first wins the game. Remember, you don't want to run out of money before you're able to capture the castle. So one way to make this a little bit easier, like I already mentioned, you can use the counters with your younger kids. You can also lower the amount of money that you start the game with. So normally you start with $100, but you can be the judge of what numbers your kids are comfortable subtracting. Maybe you want to start with just $20, or maybe even 10. Another way to simplify the game is reduce the number of rivers. Maybe only cross 3 rivers. That'll have the game go a little bit faster. One twist on the game is instead of using counters, you can use coins. So instead of thinking of it as $100, maybe have 100 cents or 10 dimes. And every time you subtract, you can kind of make change with nickels and pennies. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can still have your kids start with $100 or whatever number they choose, but allow them to use decimals. So they can make bets but include cents in it as well. So for example, you can bet $20.93. Just make sure that you're keeping track of the subtraction and maybe even having your kids explain how they got their answers. So that's how you play Capture the Castle. Once again, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Happy playing!